Hi guys, this is David Williams again, and I'm going to quickly show you the smooth terrain which we have started integrating into Unity3D via Cubiquity. So, to create a smooth terrain, you go up to Game Object, Create Other, Smooth Terrain Volume, it's above our previous coloured cubes volume, and create an empty one. As with the cubic terrain, you have to create a folder to store it. Let's call that smooth. Do see our previous video for more details of what's going on here. Again, you can specify the dimensions. The maximum size for the free version of Cubiquity is currently 128 for smooth volumes. And we'll create a floor as well, so we can see it once it's created. And here it is. If you select the terrain in the hierarchy, here, Voxel terrain, then we have an inspector, which is currently extremely basic, but which we can use for editing purposes, and of course we'll be improving the user interface in the future. These buttons don't do anything at the moment, but eventually they will. If you click and drag on the terrain, it paints into it, it sculpts it. This is similar to the way that the built-in Unity terrain works. And you can use these two sliders to adjust the sculpting process. Brush size, as you would expect, changes the size of what you're painting. So if I set it large, then big brush strokes. And if I set it small, then just small brush strokes, like that. The opacity, well, if it's to the right of the center, it will add material. If it's to the left of the center, it will remove material, and then its exact position determines how fast. So if I drag it over here to the left, and if I maybe make the brush bigger, then we can cut a river into our terrain. Let's give that a go now. The water is just a standard built-in Unity water plane. The free version, because I don't have Pro here, so you're not seeing any nice refraction or reflection effects. And cut in again from this side. Okay, that's basically how it works. Let's try creating a more interesting structure, which we wouldn't be able to create using height map terrain. Perhaps a hill either side of this river, and then a bridge to join them. So I'll leave the brush set big. I'll move the opacity to the right to create material, and I'm going to draw a hill. Again, not a 3D artist, but let's see what I can make. Just kind of a collection of rocky shapes here. And perhaps the other side of the river, I'll make it a more interesting shape. Let's make a curve. And add an overhang onto the side of it using a smaller brush. Perhaps a bit less opacity for this as well. Again, the user interface needs some work to make it nice and friendly. Just drawing a series of strokes here. If we look from the side, yep, you can see that starts to come together. And we can join it up completely if we want. fix up this side a bit. Yeah. And there we have it. A bridge across our river between two hillsides. And we can also create a cave through one of these hills. If I get underneath the bridge, use a large brush, reduce the opacity, then I can just cut through, like so. Again, I'm not saying it's a very realistic structure necessarily, but I'm sure a 3D artist would do much better than I do. At the moment, you can't paint textures or materials onto the terrain, but that's the very next feature we'll be adding. Within the next couple of weeks, I think we'll try and do some work on that. So I'll leave it at that for now. Again, this is already in BitBucket. It's very experimental, so it might break, it might crash, and I wouldn't count on being able to load your created volumes in the future. But if you just want to play around with it, see where it's going, and see what it can do, then feel free to give it a try. Okay, until next time. Bye.